Test the Nation will be finding out what you remember about 2004. And joining us in the studio, we have waitresses, shepherds, fashion students, insurance brokers, market traders, and last but very much not least, the referees. Now, please welcome your hosts for the evening, Anne Robinson and Philip Schofield.
A noisy night ahead.
It's been a good year for some, a less good one for others.
But either way, we're going to have some fun tonight with 2004. And you don't have to be a news junkie to take this test. It's about everything that's been going on around us this year, from sport to fashion, pop to politics, as well as the ups and downs of relationships, which this year, more than ever, brings us back to politics.
The studio groups are standing by with their keypads to answer the test. Ready, market traders? Insurance brokers. What a popular group they are. I hope you are ready to join into lots of ways of taking part, from using pen and paper to playing online. Here's the online address. It's bbc.co.uk/testthenation. You can find a scorecard there as well, which you can download if that's the easiest way for you to do the test. Also, you can find a scorecard in today's Express and Mirror newspapers. There you go. That's what it looks like if you're trying to find it. But if you're playing online, log on now, because we are starting in a matter of moments. If you have a digital TV, press the red button now and follow the on-screen instructions, and you can do the test on your mobile, but you need to get it ready by turning off the predictive texting, and we'll tell you how you can do that in a moment. Right, let's give a big welcome now to our celebs!
His gold medal-winning performance kept us on the edge of our seats. Rower James Cracknell. She fizzes on-screen and off Coronation Street star Jenny McAlpine. Chef, restaurateur, and the man dubbed General Troublemaker at Large, Anthony Worrell Thompson. Dirty Dan's screen daughter, EastEnders actress Scarlett Johnson. Cheeky children's presenter and Top of the Pops frontman, Reggie Yates. Comedian and self-styled middle-class twitch from Bubbly Salterton, Marcus Brigstock. BBC correspondent, otherwise known as the Scud Stud, Raggy Omar. And the versatile and glamorous doyenne of television, Angela Rippon.
To the celebs, they're very lively here this evening. Remember, the quiz tonight is all about this year, so here's the first of several flashbacks of 2004.
I'm a blessed man.
Strictly Come Dancing are... It's Jill and Darren.
He's chosen my attic, I feel it in the static. He lives in my basement, and I can hardly face it. My performance is easy. I am the god of romance, and in my confusion, I'll have the right to reign. He's stolen my Oscars, he trades on my jokes.
I'm from a little place called England. We used to run the world before you.
I can't sincerely, at least, apologise for removing Saddam.
We are going to be straight with people. What a difference that will make.
Ladies, you're damn right. You can't read a man's mind. We're living in two tribes and heading for war. Nobody's perfect.
Olympics there. So it's right and proper we should first turn to James. James, everybody said, or at least we thought, that Athens wasn't going to be ready, but it seemed to run smoothly. What was your experience?
Yeah, when we got there, everything was ready. It ran smoothly. A lot of things were fun under that'll do. I mean, the transport worked, the facilities were good, but I haven't planted many pots, and there's lots of sort of gravel, piles of gravel in the corner, but everything that needs to worked really well.
And what about the rowing facilities?
It was good. I mean, our course was built 2 years before and everything was perfect. It was just built in an incredibly windy place, and every venue has a test event, and in our test event a year before the Olympics, everybody sank. So we were expecting some rough water, but luckily the week we were there it was really flat and we had good racing.
You got your medal with you?
I have got it with me. It's a bit knackered now. It's been passed around a few hands.
It has.
So
well thumbed.
Thank you very much.
Very good. I'm not sure there's a medal for Scarlett in the programme she took part in last night. It was recorded last night. It's for broadcast on Boxing Day. But we've seen Strictly Come Dancing. This is strictly ice skating, and you sort of took part in that. And how did that feel?
Strictly ice skating was like nothing else I've ever done. Never skated before in my life. Never danced before. So. It was a massive challenge, but I loved every minute.
You brought in a sneak preview, a bit of a clip for us. So let's have a look at this. You must have been terrified. It's huge pressure.
I was so scared, I cannot tell you. It's only last night that we filmed it, and I'm still reeling from it all. It was the most bizarre experience ever.
And someone was saying that everyone expected to go in there and it was going to be freezing cold, and they went in with their, huge duffel coats.
It was about 30 degrees.
Really
in that
warm.
studio. It was so hot.
Yeah.
We were sweating. We kept sort of slipping out of our sort of holes because our hands were like dripping. It was horrible.
Good stuff. Well, we'll look forward to seeing that on Boxing Day. And also, Marcus, it's been a year of, sort of jungles and reality programmes. You've ever been asked to take part in anything like that?
Yeah, bless them. Well, I'm not really very famous, so you'd think I would be asked to go. It'd be ideal, really. My dog's previous tennis partner's wife once played cricket with a celebrity, so I'd be ideal choice for it. No, I think I've been asked to take part in a poker thing next year.
Reality poker?
Yeah, reality poker. So the guys who I play with regularly can see just how bad I really am and watch me being humiliated by professional poker players. So,
can I see your poker face? Oh, that's good. Oh, no,
yeah. Do you see?
A bit of a giveaway
twitch there. And you don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah.
And Reggie, the clip we just saw had all sorts of hits of 2004 in it. Who else? Who are you tipping for stardom in 2005?
Obviously, we're days away from the Christmas #1 now, so it'll be really interesting to see who it's going to be. But I think everyone knows it's going to be Band Aid because it's such a massive deal. And I think one of the most amazing statistics about it was that it managed to sell more than the whole Top 40 itself in its first week. So that's going to be a big record.
That's the big one. Safe choice you picked there, though.
Well, I don't want to be wrong, do I?
Annie.
Thank you, Philip. Now, on to our commentators here to give us an overview of the year. First, a man who made headlines himself by being moved out of the editor's chair at the Mirror, Piers Morgan. And our second commentator, actually, she took a career break earlier this year to have her first baby, but is now back on the 6 o'clock news, someone else presumably doing the early evening feed. Anyway, please welcome Sophie Rayworth. You're share to George Alagaia's Sonny, aren't you? But you do like us to know you've got a bit of a fluffy side, haven't you, Sophie?
Oh, are you talking about children in need?
I have indeed.
Well, that's a sort of requirement, I think. It's become a requirement for BBC newsreaders now, children in need. And we did, this year was, actually the worst one I did was Rocky Horror. That was terrifying. This one we did Bananarama. And it was me and Natasha Kaplinsky, dancing Queen.
Let us have a look.
And Fiona.
Yeah, baby, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it. Yeah, baby, she's got it.
the smell of the crowd. Are you tempted to a bit more of that? Was it a good performance?
No, I tell you, honestly, my first rehearsal was when I was still on maternity leave. And I went into the BBC with the baby, because I couldn't bear to part myself from the baby, so I took the baby with me. And I just thought, what am I letting myself in for? Because it was Natasha and Fiona, who were the most amazing thin figures, and I was there, you know, just had my baby. And then we had all these... We had to walk the dance through, and they got it instantly. And I was the sort of, you know, like being an aerobics class, the one at the back, who couldn't quite keep up, and arms, legs were going all over the place. And I just went home and said to my husband, I can't do this. And then they gave me extra lessons.
Well,
so
it was
all right.
worth it. Now, Piers, you started the year as a newspaper editor, and you've ended it as a television presenter. Which do you prefer?
Well, I haven't got much choice, have I? No, I mean, you started the year with one face, and you've ended up with another one. So we've both had rather uncomfortable years, haven't we?
I think that's very, very good. Philip.
Yikes. Right, let's see whether our groups are ready for the off. Showing the card. And it's an early red one there, is one skill, but what's their recall like? That's the referee! They may be good at watching their flocks, but have they been watching the news this year? The Shepherds! They may be up on the fashion tips, but where does the rest of 2004 fit on their parade? The fashion students. Knowing how to get the best insurance deal of the year is one thing, but is that as far as their knowledge goes? The insurance brokers. They may be able to remember what drink you ordered, but can they recall much else about 2004? Our beautiful waitresses. But is it all mouth and no memory for the market traders? All right, market traders, Leslie, sell yourself.
And the Natter, we are the market traders. You've met the rest, now meet the best.
If you are sending your answers in to us online or maybe texting them, then you've got the chance to win a Christmas treat. This hamper is filled with goodies from all over the country, provided by the Shepherds over there. Thank you to them. The market traders are going to tell you a little bit about that later on, and so you must have a go at the test online or text in, because you never know, you could be winning this. It's full of beautiful, fantastic UK produce. Annie.
Thank you, Philip. And as usual this evening, at the end of the night, we'll tell you who's done best among the groups and the celebs, if they agree, and also which part of the country appears to know the most about the year. But before we even start, a word to anyone who's going to do the test on their mobile. We've made it simpler. You'll be phoning the answers to the same number all evening. So please take a new message page, turn off the predictive Sophing, and you'll be answering option A to D. And remember, you must have a go at every question. Then at the end of each round, I'll remind you of the number to send your answers through to. So let's get going. The test is in 5 sections. 70 questions, pens, mobiles, it's gone very quiet in here, pens, mobiles, computers, eyes at the ready. The 2004 test is about to begin.
What did it say? Who's won that race? What's the weather like today?
OK, the first section looks at events and headlines in the news, beginning with 4 questions to see if you can remember the month certain events took place. Watch the clips. You then have 10 seconds to answer each question. Question 1.
What happened here tonight was a breathtaking curtain raiser to what they call the greatest sporting show on earth.
Thatcher had been arrested on what the police described as credible evidence of involvement in a failed coup in the West African state of Equatorial Guinea.
And I can reveal that the winner of Big Brother 2004 is Nadia!
The dramatic scenes from Boscastle in Cornwall tonight. A procession of cars cascading down the flooded streets, washed away by the force of an unstoppable torrent.
So, question 1. In which month did those events happen? Is it A, February, B, May, C, July, or D, August? Question 2.
A year to the day since Saddam Hussein was toppled. It wasn't meant to be like this. An attack on an American convoy on the outskirts of Baghdad.
Dr. Jeffrey John, who's openly gay but celibate, has been named as the next Dean of St Albans.
Vote 2004 is triumphantly shutting up shop, having unexpectedly got what it campaigned for, a referendum on the Constitution. No champagne, though, for Mr Blair. He was too busy swallowing his pride, gritting his teeth, biting the bullet.
Perhaps one of the most famous couples in the Western world, the Beckhams, are once again hitting the headlines this morning after a Sunday newspaper alleged that David Beckham had had an affair with his personal assistant.
So, in which month did those events happen? Was it A, January, B, April, C, July, or D, October? Question 3.
Draped in the Palestinian colours, the coffin emerged. A last task for Arafat's loyal bodyguards, to navigate a path through a sea of desperate mourners.
Within 18 months, what this man's doing will be against the law in Scotland. The smoking ban will apply to all enclosed public places like restaurants and pubs.
Thank you
very much. Hello there. You are very welcome to this, the National Lottery birthday celebration.
In which month did those events happen? Was it A, July, B, August, C, October, D, November? Question 4.
The Spanish capital has a population of around 5 million. From the air, it looked like virtually everyone was joining this mass rejection of terrorism.
Turn it up.
He is now the undisputed champion of Russia's political ring. Vladimir Putin today training with the Russian Olympic team.
Left foot, let's start.
Our prudence is for a purpose, and I commend this budget to the House.
Champion Tobacco call the tune, 3-year-old bitch, known as Dee Dee. Dee Dee done it.
Right foot, 2 stops. Left foot, 2 stops.
In which month did those events happen? Was it A, March, B, June, C, August, D, September? Well, I hope you found that a very nice and easy start, did we? Sort of, OK. Now, newspaper headlines, 5 questions, 20 seconds for each of them. Remember these? Question 5. The day the music died, who did this refer to? John Peel, Ray Charles, Sacha Distel, or Johnny Ramone? Question 6. Is this the end for Men in Tights, whose future was under threat? Was it members of the Royal Ballet, parliamentary ushers, beefeaters, or pantomime dames? Question 7. Ivan the Terrible, name the culprit. Was it a football club owner, the Ritz head chef, a hurricane, or an escaped bear? Question 8. Woman of mass destruction. Who did this refer to? Margaret Thatcher, Claire Short, Faria Alam, or Rebecca Lewis? Question 9. By George. What were we all encouraged to purchase? George Bush Action Man, St George flags, George Michael CDs, or George Best's autobiography? that's the end of the first section. Waitresses, it must be a pleasure to sit down and work, isn't it? But you know what? You'll have to try a bit harder because you're number 6 in the running in the studio. All-woman group. OK, those doing the test on their mobiles, here's the number to send your 9 answers to. Remember, it's the same number all evening, which is 07797 808 500. And just to remind you, the message will be charged at your usual text message rate, and the number will stay at the top of the screen if you didn't manage to get it down. Philip.
There are apparently only 7 people in our studio that have got everything right so far. I don't know whether one of them is Peter. Peter Walton. Now, obviously, we've got a few people in our studio who've made the headlines themselves this year. You're one of them, and you were accused, you're a Premiership ref, and you were accused of bias.
Not quite, no. I was accused of having tea and cakes with the Manchester United team.
To be construed as being slightly biased.
Could be, I suppose, yes.
Let's have a look at the headline.
Oh,
This is how it looked. It stinks, it says. It's not your socks they're talking about. How did you feel when you woke up and saw that?
My friend texted me on the Sunday morning and said, Pete, there's a picture in the News World of you, and I thought it was being vain. I thought, oh, that's a glamour shot, you know. Unfortunately for me, though, it was the back page, and it wasn't the shot I wanted.
And who do you support yourself?
Oh, Northampton Town. And if I ever referee Northampton Town, have it down as a home win.
Well done, Peter. Up here, we've got a gentleman who he's Bob Richardson. Hello, Bob. How are you? Good to see you, mate.
Hello, Philip.
Now
Yes.
we've got a picture which you have to explain to us here. Have a look at the size of this beast.
Yep.
Now there you go.
That's my big ram griff with our grandson on it.
So either your grandson is extremely tiny, or that is a giant sheep.
No, he's a big Oxford Down ram.
So are they supposed to get that big?
Oh yes, they're good. Yes, they're big.
And what are you going to do with him? I assume he's not for the chop.
Oh, definitely not. No, he'll last for a few years. His eyes, wonderful lambs, and the ewes love him.
Really? I'm quite surprised. Do you want to know how you've done?
If you like.
You've got 4 out of 9 so far. So, well, it's not bad. It's not bad, you know, there's still a long way to go. We've got someone else over here who also made the news, or certainly got a picture in the magazines, and that's a fashion student. It's Emily Jones. Hi, Emily. Right, so you were in... what were you running?
I ran in the Sport Relief Mile in London. Happened to be quite close to Prince William. Was trying to get as close as I could to the front. Wasn't having much luck.
So were you when the sort of race started and you were running? Were you trying to catch up with him?
Yeah, I was trying my best, but
he's faster than you.
He is a lot faster than me. He was a good 3 minutes faster than me in the end.
And then, of course, the picture appeared, which you had no idea had been taken, and there you.
I know. I look like I'm just next to him.
Have you saved the picture?
I have got the picture myself. Yeah.
Have you?
So I'm very pleased with that.
Good luck to you tonight.
Thank you very much.
Annie.
Anthony Worrell-Thompson, what's been your headline of the year?
Oh, there's a whole host of things, really. Not headlines, really. Lots of books. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I was in Oman, which was quite interesting. I was doing diabetes awareness, but also opening a chef school. In Oman, they find it very hard to get men to work in sort of positions that normally would be, and I don't mean to be sexist here, normally would be a woman's duty. So try and get guys to go and say, we're going to make chef a proud profession is quite hard to do.
So do none of the guys cook there? I mean, it's very radical to teach them to cook.
Yeah, it's starting. But the idea that chef schools try and encourage people to actually get in there a bit more. I mean, we all know that men are better cooks, and... so...
I don't think Delia says that, actually.
Well, yeah, OK. I'll go with that.
OK, thank you. Raggy, what's been the headline for you that sums up the year?
And there have been tons. I mean, lots from Iraq, and all of them being incredibly depressing. But I went over to the States to report on the elections, the presidential elections, and I remember reading one of the periodicals shortly after the results were announced, which just said, now what? Which raised exactly the question I think must have been in the minds of most people around the world.
And do you think there's any answer to that?
No, but I mean, I think one of the things I came away from reporting on the elections was that people like me can be assured of their jobs, unfortunately. I mean, especially, events around the world. And the one thing I found was that I kept looking for people who were undecided voters in the States, travelling across many, many different states, but couldn't find one. It was an incredibly divided country.
Yeah, thank you. Jenny, I know one of your headlines of the year is that you were Redhead of the Year, weren't you?
I was. You were as well, weren't you,
Yes,
Anne?
but mine's fading quite fast.
Yeah, I was very proud to follow in your footsteps. Yeah, I did win Redhead of the Year. I was very excited. But Charles Kennedy won it one year, so that wasn't as impressive.
I just need to let the guys in particular in the celebs know, and indeed the whole studio, that Jenny and Worrell Thompson, who thinks guys cook better than women, that Anthony, Jenny is the only one of the celebs who's got all her questions right so far.
Well done. Well done, Jenny.
What else have you been doing this year?
What can I just say? I can't believe that, because that was dead hard.
Redheads are very bright, Jenny.
I know, well, exactly. Yeah, what have I done? I'll tell you what, headlines, a local thing that we've done. I don't know if anyone's aware, but the government promised to give Manchester, our Metrolink, some money to extend our Metrolink out to the
And I bet they now said no.
And then, yeah, Kelsey Priest, they changed their mind and said we can't have it. So I went to Tony's house, number 10 Downing Street, to hand in the petition with the Manchester Evening News.
Well done.
Yeah.
OK.
They still said no, though.
I bet he did. Angela Rippon, you've had quite a dangerous year, haven't you?
It has been a bit, yes. I've been filming for the holiday programme, and my editor decided that I should do all the extreme holidays. So I started the year up in the Arctic Circle, swimming with killer whales. And then about 6 weeks ago, they sent me to South Africa, where I went cage diving with great white sharks. And then I rapped down Table Mountain, which is like abseiling, but instead of abseiling, which is when you go down with your face to the rock, you do it the other way around. You actually stand on the edge of Table Mountain and walk down like that.
Let's have a look at it. We can see it here.
What's your defining image of the year?
My defining image? I think they've got to be things like there's crowds in Madrid after the train bombings in Madrid, Beslan, the school siege, and the people who've been taken hostage in Iraq. Awful, awful images. And then also the Olympics. I was glued to the Olympics. And watching people like James going for gold.
But with the stories that you mentioned first there, those horrific pictures that you see and you have to react to, how hard is it for you not to be affected by the news you're reporting?
It's very hard. I mean, those kind of things. I mean, especially Beslan. I was actually on maternity leave when Beslan happened at the school siege, and there were 300 people died after that. And it was just heartbreaking watching those mothers standing outside the school, wondering whether or not their children were alive and what was going to happen to them. It is. I mean, there were, September the 11th, when I had to do that, I was on air the next day, and that was horrific, having to work there. But you just do it. You have to do it. It's your job.
And Piers, what about you? What's your headline of the year?
Well, the funniest headline, I thought, was I remember waking up one morning and seeing a headline that said, George Bush re-elected, and I burst out laughing. Then I realised it was true. So taking up from... I mean, Raggy made a very good point there. It's going to be a very scary time, I think, for world affairs. And we've seen a lot of very big foreign stories this year, and I'm afraid we'll be seeing a lot more of Raggy next year and the year after, because it's dangerous times.
And I suppose ultimately in 2005, any headline that doesn't include you would be a bonus?
Yes. I think my least favourite headline of the year was one repeated about 36 times, and that was End of the Piers show, which I've now had enough of, thank you.
OK, no more of that then. Annie?
Thank you. Now, before we go to the test, we've got a Christmas treat for the top scorer online or on SMS. Market traders, tell us all about it, please.
Hip, hip, hooray, it's sales day. And look at all my goods on display. These are the very, very latest bargain prices for everybody here today. I started in business with nothing. I've still got half of it. Look at the size of that turkey with 6 legs. I don't know what it tastes like. Nobody can catch it.
Come on down, the price is right. Anywhere you like, anyone you like. Got stung by a bee last week, jar of honey for £5. In here, cheese to make your crackers, curly Cumberland sausage for the ladies, and onions in vinegar to get you pickled this Christmas.
venison and that's not deer, and we've got cheese from all around the countryside, and you have to look Caerphilly for that.
I think we've got the message. They could obviously they could sell cream cakes to Weight Watchers. Anyway, just another word to those doing the test on their mobiles. You might be one of our high scorers, in which case you could well receive a text message from the studio during the programme. Very exciting. That's something you can look forward to. Meanwhile, on to section 2. This is about things and people that have arrived on the scene or left it during this year. Here's a flavour. OK, the first part of the section is actually about things or people we said hello to. 7 questions, 15 seconds to answer each.
I believe that you have given the park a highly original memorial which captures something of the essence of a remarkable human being. I think Diana would have enjoyed it, and I believe she would want all of us to do so too.
Question 10. The Diana Memorial Fountain opened, closed and opened again. What's now banned there? Is it paddling, picnicking, painting or preaching? Question 11. Amateur detective Dreadlock was introduced where? In the Rugrats, the Lenny Henry Show, The Dandy or Viz magazine? Question 12. Where did the English National Opera perform for the first time? Tea in the Park, the Reading Festival, Glastonbury or the Notting Hill Carnival? Question 13. What was handed over to Iyad Alawi in June? The Turner Prize, an Olympic gold medal, Prime Ministership of Iraq or a lottery cheque for £10 million? Question 14. Maria Sharapova was a surprise winner at Wimbledon. What did she try to do after her victory? Kiss the umpire, throw her racket into the crowd, phone her mother, or a lap of honour? Question 15. The new Scottish Parliament building finally opened for business. How much did it end up costing? 40 million, 152 million, 307 million, or 431 million?
At Greenwich, the home of British astronomy, young and old come in their thousands for a view that no one alive has seen before.
What were those people looking at? Halley's Comet, Pluto, Venus, or Mars? Getting a bit more tricky. Next, some people or things we've said goodbye to in 2004. 6 questions coming up, 15 seconds to answer each. Question 17. Who forecast a happy retirement? Russell Grant, Michael Fish, Saga Magazine, or John McCreerick? Question 18. Who got into trouble over faked photos? Lord Lichfield, Jerry Halliwell, Piers Morgan, or Pamela Anderson? Question 19. The man known as the Great Communicator died. Who was he? Bernard Levin, Alistair Cook, Ronald Reagan, Arthur Haley. Question 20. That racecourse has closed for redevelopment. Where is it? Newmarket, Ascot, Uttoxeter or Ayr? Question 21. Which MP is to step down claiming constituents' problems are tedious in the extreme? Peter Mandelson, Beverly Hughes, Michael Portillo or Tony Banks? Question 22. Who died having chosen for his epitaph, Keep Off the Grass? Peter Ustinov, Paul Foote, Norris McWhirter or Brian Clough? OK, the last part of this section is about things that haven't gone quite right. In fact, we call this the oops round. 4 questions, 15 seconds each. Question 23. What got lost due to a bureaucratic error? A portrait of the Queen, the Elgin Marbles, Wayne Rooney's passport, or Wales? Question 24. Where was MP Boris Johnson sent to say sorry? Coventry, Liverpool, Swansea or Inverness? Question 25. Golfer Ian Poulter grabbed the headlines at this year's Open. How? Because of his trousers, his hair, his hole-in-one, or his bad language? Question 26. Which pop star was refused entry to the US by the FBI? Was it Cat Stevens, Bob Dylan, Donovan, or Marianne Faithfull? OK, that's the end of the second section. We've got 3 more sections to go. Not too hard, is it? Market traders. Easy. Oh, I'm not so sure. Fashion students, is it that easy? Are we sure? I think they're a bit young, the fashion students. Now, don't forget, those of you doing the test on your mobiles, the number to text your answer to, and it's the same all evening, 07797 808 500.
Some of our waitresses have had a bit of a disastrous year. One of them is Lynn Agent. She took part in the National Chef of the Year competition.
I did. Anthony, don't listen. It's bad.
We'll get his judgment on this particular mistake in a moment. OK, what did you do?
I acted as a commis chef for my head chef, Fabrice, and everything was manic. He had 2 minutes to get the main course out for the judges. There was no room to put the sauce. He put it as a beautiful espresso and lobster sauce. He put it in the sink. Me being the commie, I came along and I took the pan and washed it up. He had no sauce.
Now, the thing is, your workmates don't know this story, don't they?
Nobody knows.
And he didn't win, did he?
He didn't win. It wasn't my fault.
I think it might have been. Anthony, what would you have done if that had happened in your kitchen?
Shut her. But it happens. I mean, we've said to a chef, wash the rocket salad, and he puts it in hot water with soap. You've got to treat everyone the Delia way and leave nothing to chance.
Are you still talking to the chef, or more to the point, is he still talking to you?
Yes, sort of.
Sort of.
Yes, he's coming round.
There's someone else over here who's had a sort of explosive time. She's Hannah Pewter. Hannah, it's not very often cafetières explode, is it?
No, I'd finished work one night and Matthew, my supervisor, said, "Oh, Hannah, can you go make a cafetière?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right, I'll do it." And as I went into it, I put too much coffee in it. And as I pushed it down, I lent all my weight into it. Just exploded all over my face, up my arm.
But hot, I mean, it would have been
It was hot. I had a scab on my chin for a few weeks.
Oh, How attractive. Lovely. What a lovely waitress you must have looked.
Oh, it's beautiful.
and the thing is that you can't stand coffee.
No, it's horrible.
Do you know how you're doing this evening?
No.
15 out of 26. Oh, well done to you.
Reggie, have you had a cafetiere moment on Top of the Pops?
Yes and no. We had Eminem on a little while ago.
Oh,
and
love
we was,
Eminem.
Yeah, you a big fan?
Yes, met them in Hollywood.
You look like a hip-hopper.
Yeah.
Yeah, we was on the HMS Belfast performing on the boat, and he just finished performing, and he had his earpieces in. Of course, I said, "Oh, how you doing? You all right? Am I invited to the after party?" And he just looked at me blankly, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, all my mates are watching. They're all going to think Eminem just dissed me live on TV." So I went, "All right, and yeah, I'll take that as a yes then." And he came up to me afterwards, and he apologised. He said he couldn't hear me. So I was like, "Yeah, Eminem apologised to me."
Yeah, he's very cool, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, good. Scarlett, that's really the name this year, isn't it? Whether it's Scarlett, the way you pronounce your surname, or Scarlett Johansson.
Yes, it seems to be quite fashionable this year, but I'm the original and still the best.
Are you? Why did your mum call you Scarlett?
I don't really know. I can't remember, funnily enough.
Oh.
She's an artist, so I think she just liked the colour.
OK. Now, we're losing you from EastEnders.
Yes, I'm leaving.
Why's that?
Well, I've been there 2 years now, and when I joined, I was a student, and... Yeah, you can hear all going, yeah! And I've had an amazing 2 years, but it's time to move on to bigger and better
And will
things.
it be a dramatic exit?
Fairly. I'm not going to tell you too much. Christmas Day, you'll have to watch.
OK, we won't forget. Marcus, an embarrassing moment, dear?
Yes, I did have one. I put my foot in it a bit. I was filming a comedy drama up in Manchester, and on the first day, the costume people ran out and wanted me to attach a mobile phone to my belt. And I sort of turned to one of them and looked at this and thing on the belt, and I went, "Oh, God, this character really is a tosser, isn't he?" And the director then walked over to me and pulled back his jacket to reveal that he wore his mobile in the Star Trek style. And
Is that what it is, a Star Trek style?
I think it is, yeah. Men who are desperate to, you know. It's a bit sad, isn't it?
Well, I don't know about the phone on the belt, but I have to tell you that you're not top of the class.
No. No, well, I wouldn't expect to be.
No, but James Cracknell is, at the moment.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Sophie, we're talking about sort of exits there. And
Yes.
That's one soap exit we're talking about, but there have been a few political exits, and the one we're all talking about at the moment, of course, is David Blunkett. What's your take on that?
Extraordinary, isn't it? It keeps unravelling. It rather caught us by surprise earlier this week. We had a headline. We were sitting in the 6 o'clock news studio, 5:45, and the first headline that we'd written was... the pressure's on David Blunkett. By 5 to 6, it was David Blunkett is expected to resign, and at 1 minute 2, he had confirmed that he was going to resign. And so I've never been on a programme where the whole running order was completely thrown out of the window.
You must love that excitement.
It was quite frightening.
Yeah.
It was quite frightening, but it's one of those things you just get on with it and do it. And we all came off the air going, "Oh my God!" afterwards.
Piers, it was the book what done for him, wasn't it?
It was hilarious the way you saw the first part of his scandal. All the cabinet ministers queuing up to say he's the straightest man in British politics. Of course, his job is safe. And then this book came out saying they were all completely useless. And suddenly it was, "I fear that David may not survive this scandal." And it was all over. No, I mean, it's just an amazing story. It's the one story I must admit I'd love to have been editing a newspaper.
Do you think he'll be back?
I suspect he'll come back as Archbishop of Canterbury.
Annie.
Thanks, Philip. Right, on with the test, the third section, and we've moved from the front pages to the more frothy bits, entertainment and gossip, on the inside pages. Let's see what you remember.
Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative.
And first up, 6 questions on popular culture, 15 seconds to answer each question.
बल्ले बल्ले जे सोनिया दे रंग देख लो बिना डोर तो उड़ती पतंग देख लो बल्ले बल्ले जे सोनिया दे रंग देख लो बिना डोर तो उड़ती पतंग देख लो.
Question 27. Which classic novel was turned into that Bollywood musical? Was it Pride and Prejudice, Wuthering Heights, Nicholas Nickleby, or Lady Chatterley's lover? Question 28. Only one person sang the same line on the new Band Aid single and the original. Who was it? Paul McCartney, Boy George, David Bowie, or Bono? Question 29. BBC Two celebrated a special anniversary. Which one? Was it it's silver, it's ruby, it's gold, or it's diamond?
This year, there was one crucial difference. Nice jumper.
My mother's taste never falters.
Never.
Ah. Question 30. That film was advertised as Same Bridget, brand new what? Brand new jumper, boyfriend, diary, or knickers?
Are you digging on me? Yeah. I'm digging on you now, baby. Yeah. Do you want a little bit of my love? Yeah. Wait a minute.
Question 31. Singer Joss Stone broke a UK record. Which one? The longest time at #1, the youngest woman with a #1 album, the fastest selling album, or Westlife's greatest hits?
Do it with a sliced serve. I'll treat you to fish and chips.
Ooh, the pressure's on.
Lovely toss.
Hit this one, and I'll sleep with you.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Too bad. You could have used the workout.
Question 32. Which event were those two training for? Was it the US Open, Queen's, Wimbledon, or the French Open? Now we have some quotes. Let's see how you do with these. 5 questions, 20 seconds per question. Question 33. I feel I've let everyone down. Who said this? Kieran Fallon, Paula Radcliffe, James Hewitt, or Tony Blair? Question 34. I'm going to send him an ice bucket with a note attached. Stick your head in it. A row over which high street store caused this outburst? Debenhams, Topshop, BHS, or Marks and Spencer? Question 35. Today we have lost a man who was truly America's hero. Who was John Kerry talking about? Howard Keel, Red Adair, Christopher Reeve, or Marlon Brando? Question 36. My inner voice tells me I must humbly decline. Who gave this reason for turning down a job? Was it Glenn Hoddle, Estelle Morris, Richard Dreyfuss, or Sonia Gandhi? Question 37. Rude, vile pigs, Elton John said of tax inspectors, reporters, Trini and Susanna, or Blue? part of this section, relationships. Some cemented, others discovered or ended in 2004. 5 questions, 15 seconds each.
There's got to be another way to express.
To express?
What I feel. I'm falling, I'm falling, I'm falling. What do you reckon of that?
Question 38. Apart from Jordan, what else did Peter Andre get from his stay in the jungle? A £2 million sponsorship deal, a lead role in a film, a hit single, or a tropical disease? Question 39. Who dumped her boyfriend after 43 years? Lauren Bacall, Shirley Bassey, Barbie, or Cher? Question 40. Who was found to be a mother of 5? Mary Magdalene, the Virgin Mary, the Mona Lisa, or Britannia? Question 41. Rumpole creator John Mortimer discovered he had an illegitimate son. Which actress is the mother? Is it Judi Dench, Wendy Craig, Susan Hampshire, or Keira Knightley? Question 42. Britney had 2 #1s and at least 2 weddings. How long did her first marriage last? 25 hours? 55 hours? 5 days? 5 weeks? And that's the end of the 3rd section. You know, we're more than halfway through now. Are you feeling confident, insurance brokers? I bet you are. But you know what? They look just like I imagine they'd look when they're on the end of the phone. You know, when you think your claim is going through and then they tell you you weren't insured after all. That's what you think, isn't it? Well, I tell you how confident you should be. You're only number 4 in the studio. You might catch up. OK, those on their mobiles, here's the number to send your answers through to, the same one all evening, 07797 808 500. Philip.
Thanks, Annie. Raggy, has being dubbed Scud Stud been good or bad for you this year?
What? It's been quite fun, actually. I mean, I think people just do it as a sort of tongue-in-cheek sense of humour, bring you down a peg or two. So, and it's also done with a sort of sense of affection, which has been really nice. So I've taken it in my stride, Philip.
Do you get a bit of a ribbing?
Oh, yeah. What do you expect? You can be guaranteed that, yeah, definitely in the newsroom.
And James, the 2004's been a torrid year for the Beckhams. Well, how much pressure? Because you sort of have, your wife is Beverly Turner. How much pressure does it put on you as a couple when you have intense media interest in you?
Well, I think tabloid editors and maybe former tabloid editors spend a lot of money trying to put pressure on marriages and break them up, but I think deep down it's only the 2 people in the marriage that break it, not any pressure from the outside.
And Angela, has the news that you read and that we hear, has that changed over the years?
No, the news obviously changes because, you know, life goes on, but the way that we report it, I think, has changed because you don't have the same kind of stuffed shirt attitude to it. If you go back to the reports that were coming, say, out of World War II, it always began, you know, very formally, this is the BBC. Well, you don't get that anymore. Everybody's much more relaxed about what they do, but I think that the most important change has been technologically, because there was a time when we used to hand carry film back. In fact, I can remember once when I was in Italy doing a report some 25, 30 years ago, actually finding a very kind British Airways pilot who was prepared to bring it back for me. We used to do that kind of thing. You wouldn't dare, wouldn't be allowed to do it now. Yeah. But nowadays, of course, you know, I mean, as Raggy knows, you're in the middle of a war with a video telephone, and you're actually bringing the story right into people's sitting rooms. You could never do that before.
Angela, thank you very much indeed.
Sophie, I don't know about you, but I just love gossip. I love the gossip columns. Are you the same?
I do read them. I do read them, yes. I kind of scan them. I don't read them all the time, but I think I've got to. Anyway, you've got to find out what's going on.
Oh, come on, you'd enjoy them. I love a Low magazine, OK?
Yeah, I do read
It's
it.
one of the things about celebs, isn't it, that they love reading the gossip columns and then get very funny when something appears that they don't like. There's a sort of hypocrisy about it.
Yeah, I sort of understand it now, because I used to love reading gossip about television presenters.
Yeah.
Now I am one, I hate it and think it should be stopped.
Yeah.
For a minute.
No, I don't. I mean, I think it's interesting.
He loves publicity.
What Joe said was interesting. I mean, you know, I think that there's a sort of a perception about tabloid newspapers in particular that all they want to do is trash celebrities. Actually, my experience of working with celebrities on newspapers was they were desperate to be in the papers, and they really want to have their cake and eat it. So you've got to take a lot of their whinging with a bit of a pinch of salt.
And it's also interesting how celebs are in fashion, and then, I mean, it was very much Posh and David for the first part of the, you know, Posh and David, and they've slightly sort of disappeared, and now it's Kimberly and David, isn't it?
Yeah, but they don't sell papers. I asked a few editors yesterday how the Blunkett story was selling, and it's every time it's on the front page, the sale collapses. So politicians don't sell papers, which is quite good for them, actually, because it makes.
They're just telling me that they've got a headline, one of your headlines from... We've got a headline from... Oh!
Oh, it's horrific. Get rid of it.
Oh, gosh, I think I look better in the first picture. I look dreadful in... But isn't it interesting? There are about 3,000 cosmetic surgeons in this country, and I'm the only person who's had a facelift.
Ian Hall here is... you've got two flocks, haven't you? Because you're a shepherd and a priest.
I am, well, part-time.
And you had a wedding this year?
My daughter got married this year, and that was superb, and she had a very agricultural wedding.
Did she?
Yeah, we had the...
Is that what she wanted?
Oh, that's what she wanted. Nothing to do with... You know, I've had a daughter. Nothing to do with me. No, she had the reception in our slurry pit, which we roofed over for the occasion. That was fun.
So she had a reception in a slurry pit, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely.
Yeah,
That's
that was good.
Terrific. That sounds great. I'm so sad I wasn't invited to that.
And instead of having a Rolls Royce to bring her back from the church, she thought she'd have the tractor and trailer. So we decorated the tractor and trailer up, and she would go on the throne with her new husband. Only in the middle of the service, it started absolutely pouring down. So we came out, and she said, "No, I'm not going back in that." And all the other guests said, "No, we're not going back in that either." Guess who had to end up driving it?
You drove it?
I drove it.
Dressed as?
Dressed as my vicar. With all me clericals on, in the pouring rain, down the road. And down Estill Road, there's a little railway, miniature railway goes down beside it. And, of course, there's a train going down. And they're all pointing and laughing at this idiot who's driving down the
They dropped in on some country drama.
And on the back it says, "I'm just married."
Good one. Over here, we've got a gentleman who's got a dog, which it's actually a thief. Your dog, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah. I've got a dog called Yogi Bear. It's a collie, and it's got this nasty habit of going out into our village at night and nicking people's boots, Wellington boots.
But he only nicks one?
He nicks just one at a time, but when you wake up in the morning, go outside, there's a line of boots.
So you've got all your neighbours hopping up the street asking for their boots back?
That's right, but they know where to come.
Well, there's another dog, actually, that you may remember that made the news this year. The dog of the year was certainly this one. Now, if you were wondering what happened to that dog, apparently it has found an owner. They are very happy together, but we've just heard, and this is a true story, that the other day it actually locked her out of the house. And she had to get a locksmith to let her back in again. They're very happy together when she can get inside to feed it. Annie?
I won't have a word said against dogs. On to section 4 and questions about winners and losers of the year. OK, first some success stories, 5 questions, 15 seconds each.
Here come Canada, back to 2 feet, back to 1 feet, it's 10 strokes, we're going to be on the line, it's going to be oh so close, Matthew drives, one last time, just, it's just, Great Britain have come up, and Great Britain are the Olympic
Question 43. How many consecutive Olympic goals has Matthew Pinsent now won? Is it 2, 3, 4 or 5?
Two bookends. Excellent. You need the set. One looks, you know.
Question 44. Ricky Gervais won 2 Golden Globes and wrote a bestseller. What was his book called? Beastlies, Flanimals, Mad Monsters or Looney Zoo?
4 more years! 4 more years! 4 more years!
Question 45. Which state clinched the re-election of President Bush? Was it Oregon, Ohio, Idaho or Florida? Question 46. Which man in yellow was described as awesome? Charles Kennedy, Shane Warne, Lance Armstrong or Lala? Question 47. Team GB won 35 gold medals at the Paralympics. Only one country won more. Which was it? USA, Russia, Australia or China? OK, very quiet now. They're all thinking, all a bit worried. We now have some things which haven't gone quite right. 5 questions and 15 seconds to answer each. Question 48. Which of these towns was voted the worst in Britain? Was it Luton, Bangor, Mold or Peebles? Question 49. Which of these was destroyed in a fire? Queen Mary II, Tracy Emin's tent, Stella McCartney's spring collection, or Jamie Oliver's restaurant? Question 50. Blue Peter was given a new title sequence but lost what? A dog, a parrot, a tortoise, or a rabbit? Question 51. Which rock star lost jewellery worth £2 million in a burglary? Madonna, Rod Stewart, Ozzy Osbourne, or Tina Turner? Question 52. Who's accused of looting over £200 million? Was it Lord Black, Dame Shirley Porter, Lord Brocket or Lord Archer? And to round off this section, 5 more questions about popular entertainment, 15 seconds to answer each of them. Question 53. Strictly Come Dancing was a huge hit. Which celebrity won the first series? Was it Natasha Kaplinsky, Christopher Parker, Martin O'Fire, or Leslie Garrett? Question 54. That band won the Mercury Prize. Who are they? Franz Ferdinand, Snow Patrol, The Hives, or Busted?
See? What did I say? The Winchester's just over there.
Over where?
Over there.
Just over there, over the 20 garden fences.
What's the matter, David? I've taken a shortcut before.
Question 55. That film was a surprise international hit. It's called What of the Dead? Dawn, Born, Yawn, or Shaun? Question 56. Jamelia won Best Single at the Mobos with that song. What's it called? Please, Thank You, Excuse Me, or Up Yours?
You sit down! You sit down! Violet! Ow! Ow! Bob! It's time to engage! Do something! Don't just stand there! I need you to intervene!
You want me to intervene? Okay, I'm intervening. I'm intervening!
Sister Violet, let go of your brother!
Question 57. What's the surname of the Incredibles family? Is it Carr, Mar, Bar, or Parr? Question 58. Which of these awards did Little Britain win in April? A BAFTA, a Golden Globe, an Emmy, or an Oscar? Now, that rounds off section 4. Only one more section to go. Referees, how are we doing? I'm glad you haven't ordered me off my podium yet. How about the shepherds? Who's looking after the sheep? Someone else tonight? All the wives. It's Christmas. They don't bother to look after the sheep. OK. Now, those on your mobiles, here's the number for your answers. Same one all evening. 07797 808 500. Philip.
Philip Tutty has lost this year, but that's not such a bad thing. In fact, it's a good thing. How much weight have you lost?
Lost about 3 stone.
OK, and it's down to the dropping of one thing in your diet.
Yep, I've stopped drinking a particular brand of fizzy cola.
OK, now how much did you drink?
About 4 or 5 litres a day.
For about 20 years?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
Yeah, do you feel better for it? Less windy, I would have thought.
I feel a lot better now.
Yeah, we actually added up, Philip, over the years, how much cola you would have drunk. And it's enough to fill this. That's a big petrol tanker.
That is a big petrol tanker.
So are you still on a diet?
I'm still sticking to it. These things take time, but I am sticking to it.
Good man. All right, well done. Now, lots of people, of course, during the course of the year, do all sorts of things for charity. And Geraint Hughes over here, he's done just that for charity. What was it that you did?
Well, it was a promise auction, it was. And basically what I had to do was promise my services, basically take off my whole entire clothes, and I was just left with a headlamp, and treat a horse's teeth.
Naked horse dentistry.
Exactly.
That's what we're talking about.
That's
here,
what we're talking about.
And somebody bought that.
Somebody bought that.
Do you know who bought that?
I've got a good idea, yes.
Have you carried it out yet?
Not yet. I'm waiting for the hot weather.
OK. And how much did you raise?
About 420.
Yeah, all right. Personally, how much did you raise?
30 quid.
James, I don't want you to give away any answers, but Matthew Pinsent, were you surprised by him saying he's going to retire?
No, I think I knew from Sydney, having trained him for the 4 years between Sydney and the Athens Olympics, that this would be his last one. He'd been at the top for a long time, and it kept a lot. It would have kept a lot to keep him there, both physically and emotionally. I think he'd had enough.
I mean, is there a stage when you just can't be a top rower anymore? What age is...
I think age-wise, well, Steve Redgrave won the Olympics at 38 when we raced together in Sydney,
Yeah.
and Matthew's only 34, I think. So he, in theory, he could have carried on for another 4 years, but it's I think the mind gives out for the body. And
you're
sport.
just a baby. Are you going to retire?
No, well, I'm 23 next week, so... No, I'm not going to retire. I'm going to take a year out this year and look at the World Championships next August and see if I'm watching it and feel that I really want to be in the boat and I'm annoyed I'm not racing, then I'll come back.
But you'll keep training?
Yeah, I'm going to do the London Marathon and some
OK,
other
because
stuff.
we'd miss you, you know.
Ah.
Now, Marcus, lots of movie questions tonight. Have you got a favourite movie?
Well, the couple that I've done have both taken a kicking from the critics, so anything I'm not in is a good bet, really.
Yeah. But your favourite?
Favourite of all time?
Yeah. No, this year.
Oh, well, I don't know, really. I'm a dad.
No, listen, I think it's this one. I think...
Christmas is a time for people with someone they love in their lives.
And that's not you?
That's not me, Michael. When I was young and successful, I was greedy and foolish, and now I'm left with no one, wrinkled and alone.
Wow. Thanks for that, Bill. For what? Well, for actually giving a real answer to a question. Doesn't often happen here at Radio Watford, I can tell you.
That one's very good. Very good.
Jenny, are you like most women? Do you fancy Bill Nighy? Or is it just us older women who think he's fantastic?
Oh, I don't know fancy him.
What about the other bloke?
Yeah, the other bloke, he is fit.
Did you like Love Actually?
I like that scene.
Oh, good. Got one fan, Marcus. Philip.
So let's ask our experts now a straight question, and we need a straight answer. Winners or losers this year? Who do you think are your winners and losers?
Winners, I would say a recent winner, Ruth Kelly, definitely. She's 36 years old. She's got 4 children under 7 and she's become the education secretary. I've just gone back to work with one who's only 7 months old. I have no idea how she does that. Another winner, I would say, on the entertainment front, Strictly Come Dancing. Everyone loves it. Done brilliantly.
It's a big winner.
And a loser.
Uncalled for.
Here's ouch.
I don't want your job. It's all right. All right.
Your winners?
Well, a certain North London football team, of course, went the entire
Every time he's on the
Premiership
programme.
season unbeaten, as everybody knows, and scandalously didn't win the BBC Team of the Year. Scandalously.
And your losers?
Losers. Well, I feel very sorry for David Blunkett's dog. And I was talking about this with someone earlier. I mean, that poor little thing has got to leave that lovely house, and it's got nothing to do with him, is it? We should launch a Christmas campaign with David Plunkett's dog.
So the loser of the whole of 2004 is David Plunkett's dog?
Yes, he's the innocent victim of that whole affair, if you ask me.
Ali.
Thank you. Now, on to the final section. This is called Lucky Dip. OK, first 7 potluck questions, 15 seconds to answer each. Question 59. Where did the public watch David Beckham sleeping for over an hour? A Spice Girls concert, National Portrait Gallery, Real Madrid training ground, or an Arsenal match? Question 60. What was found in the Thames estuary? A tropical fish, a coral reef, a great white shark, or a treasure chest? Question 61. The government issued the booklet Preparing for Emergencies. Its slogan is, go in, stay in, what? Tune in, tuck in, muck in, or take cover? Question 62. Which Trevor was knighted in October? MacDonald, Brooking, Nelson, or none?
A beautiful firstborn child. But that's not all. Baby Tamara is also a medical breakthrough.
I'm very, very happy.
Question 63. What was frozen so that Tamara could be born 7 years later? Her mother's ovaries, her father's sperm, her mother's eggs, or her father's DNA? Question 64. The Tate Gallery made the news with recreation of the first public demonstration of auto-destructive art. What was in the exhibit? Marble sculptures, dead sheep, a pile of bricks, or a bag of rubbish? Question 65. Who was revealed to have had a passionate friendship with the Duchess? David Blunkett, Julian Clary, Joe Pasquale, or Prince Philip? And the last 5 questions are on doctored photos. You have to guess who is missing. 15 seconds for each of these. Question 66. Who's getting angry with this photographer? Is it Liam Gallagher, Chris Evans, Prince Harry, or Hugh Grant? Question 67. Who's shaking hands with Tony Blair? Saddam Hussein, Imran Khan, Colonel Gaddafi, or Dame Edna Everage? Question 68. Who's this causing Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunction? George Michael, Nelly, Michael Jackson, or Justin Timberlake? Question 69. Who's kissing Joan Collins? Prince Andrew, Robert Kilroy Silk, Dale Winton, or Jonathan Ross? Question 70. Which superhero is missing from this picture? Is it Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, or Wonder Woman? Right, that's it. That's the end of the test. Well done, everybody. Applauding themselves. Well done. Huge sighs of relief as well here. Again, those on their mobiles, a final reminder of the number to send your answers: 07797 808 500. With any luck, you'll get your scores pretty soon. If there's a delay, it really is. It's just because there's been a huge response. But I promise you, your scores will come through. Philip.
Now, to round off this part of the show, we asked our fashion students to tell us what was big in 2004. Better than that, they're going to show us.
Reclaimed from those old Clint Eastwood movies to become this year's must-haves, ponchos and cowboy boots. 2 colours were standouts in 2004. You weren't cool unless in pink for a boy and gold for a girl. And this year's essential fabrics: tweeds and animal prints. And the unmissable footwear was wellies. Whether you're funky or a farmer, you just had to have your feet in these.
Well done to them. Looking fantastic. Right, we'll take a break for the news. Don't forget to come back for part 2 and all the answers and more from our studio groups.
Yes, always fun to find out which group's done best. See you in 20 minutes.
Whatever you do, don't be late. We'll be back. We hope you will too. Bye-bye.